Hello, my friend, my love, my cosmic companion. Thank you for clicking on the reading. Thank you for being here with me. This is Ula tea leaf readings. I read your tea leaves here. We do some tarot as well sometimes, depending. But we mostly focus on the tea leaves and my ramblings. So anyways, it's nice to meet you. If you've been here before, it's nice to feel you once again. Let's hang out for a few minutes and, figure some stuff out, or at least begin to, right? All right. We have a face right here. I'm looking, we have the eyes, we have almost, it looks to me like, maybe like a balding head, a beard. Maybe it's a dog even. Actually, maybe it's a dog. Okay, so I'm going to look at this. I'm going to take that out. Does that make it look more like a dog or less like a dog? Okay, sometimes you have to... Right there. And look, it looks like it has its tongue out. Like the tongue would be right here. There's even the split in the tongue. And then there's the little triangle nose. And then the eyes. And you can kind of see the snoot squared away. Look at that. So it looks like a dog who's kind of like has its tongue hanging out. It's excited. It's happy. Very interesting. I love when you first see it and I'm like, is that like an old dude or, No, it's a dog. Now we have a face over here. We have the eyes. We have this nose. And then we have the little mouth. Okay. Now, very close together, right? I would say like best friends. Obviously, it's a dog, so that makes sense. But it feels like it must be like a long friendship, relationship, because there's such a sense of blending with this person. Your personalities are very similar, not just because of, I guess genetics or whatever, but it's very much about growing up next to each other. Like you speak the same way, right? And so this closeness, it feels, and look at this, there's a house. You can see here's the front of the house and this is the side of the roof. So it's kind of like one of these like triangle, very, not like the big old square, but kind of this triangle base. And we have I would say an exclamation mark. We also have a little bike. Look at this. Here's the handlebars. Here's the little seat and the bike. We have a flower growing. Now we have, it looks like maybe the name Court or Corey. Possibly Cory right in here. Carrie. Something like this. Now we also have, it looks like maybe initials AM. Okay, so to me, it really does feel like this is somebody you grew up with, you've known forever. And we have these two faces, but then if we pull it away, it looks like a person. And now it does look like the older person with the beard. and arm out holding what looks like a person in their clutch, right? And the hair kind of blowing. Now, it could be a doll. It could be that maybe, I don't know, maybe there was, and it looks like they're running. Like, this, to me, this feels almost like running. So I feel like, I just almost, like, there was like some kind of thing going on with your friend, or maybe it was you, but I think it was within their household, and there was a sense of, at some point, them getting pulled away from their life, or the way that their life was. And it changed them. And I think that it was like a marked moment in not only their life, obviously, but for you as well, because I think that you're very close to this person. We also have the number 22 and 34. 22 and 34. So I feel like it's all so familiar, you know, the childhood, the neighborhood, the hanging out, playing, growing up, having similar humor, you know, personalities, jokes, all that stuff. And then something happens, and maybe it is like divorce or something like this, and the family is separated. And through that dissolution and that, in the trauma of that, and maybe having to move, or, you know, whatever it was, I think it really, you kind of lost that, well, it, you know, that wonderful kind of life and environment that you kind of grew up next to each other in. Now, maybe your home lives aren't always perfect, or maybe school wasn't perfect, or, you know, there were troubles in the neighborhood or whatever it was, but you have safety in this person, and vice versa. Now, I think they're still around, definitely. And I think that there's not been some like huge separation, but I do feel like for some reason you are going over, not necessarily reminiscing, but maybe kind of going over old things. And I want to look. Now we have the person, we're going to turn this. And I feel like there's just a sense of, here we have a person, we have another person here, maybe one right here. To me, it's almost kind of like, and we have another person here. It almost feels like 83, 87. Maybe it's 87, 87 or 83, whatever is more meaningful to you. I feel like this person has maybe had a series of people in their life that really, I mean, like, you wouldn't pick these people for them. You know what I mean? But you're also like not somebody who's gonna like say much about it because you love your friend. And I almost feel like when you have been very honest about your feelings, they're not always received kindly, right? And sometimes that maybe makes them a bit avoidant. And I think for you, it's not like I'm just going to ignore everything, but I think for the most part, you know, they're an adult, you know, and even if, unless they're in, you know, dire trouble or they ask for help, it's not, I don't know. I'm big on minding your business. You know what I mean? Like, peep game, but mind your business. Unless you are so moved to do intervene in some way or say something or whatever. You know, and there are factors where that will definitely happen, especially if it's somebody you're very close to. But I think for the most part, it's not necessarily like these terrible, terrible relationships where they're remarkably dangerous, there's a lot of mistreatment or whatever. And, I guess I want to say here, I just want to interject here in my own rambling. Yeah, we need to watch out for one another, especially when things seem to be in that realm. Okay, I'm not ever going to say ignore that for the greater good. Now, you need to move with precision when you are somebody who is outside of a situation like that, but you are noticing it and you want to help in whatever. Educate yourself about how to go about that. There are a lot of things that we just immediately want to do when somebody's in a relationship like that, or a situation that is, we can see from the outside clearly that this is a dangerous thing for probably everybody involved. But you have to be careful, because if you go about it in the wrong way, it makes it much more dangerous. And I'm not going to ramble on about that, but it is something very important. It's important to keep everybody safe. But here's the deal. I don't think that this is that kind of situation. I feel like this is more like along the lines of like, they maybe are a serial monogamous or something like this, and end up in, relationships that never like get to that place, that deep place, or maybe they, they're very like hot and cold, or, whatever it is, right? Like they're a little dramatic. Let's just be real. That's what it is. A little dramatic. But they'll be all right. They'll meet somebody else, or maybe they won't, but they'll still be okay. So I feel like, though, in this situation, there's almost this sense of, in being a part of this situation, there is a kind of breakdown of keeping up appearances. Where in previous crises that they've been in, I think that now you're seeing that like something's really maybe going on beyond just the relationship. Okay. And so I'm seeing all these, like, it just feels to me like there are more conflicts by the day, right? Like they're in a phase of like spiraling, crashing out on just everyone in their life. You know what I mean? Warranted or not. You know what I mean? Like maybe some of them deserve it. But I think that you're seeing like something's really up, like something's going on here. Now, it might be a health issue. It might be, well, of course, like stress is a health issue. Whatever it is, the significant shift in people's ability to put up with, the BS anymore. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I do feel like, it's going to be a time where it might not be very chill, right? But I think that you're ready to like be there. You're ready to lend your support in the ways that you can. Now, I think the big thing, and we have, going this way, we have really this, it looks like a mushroom. We have the number 4 really sticking out down there at the bottom. And maybe like JJ. And Leary, Leary. So we also have a phallic symbol right here. It kind of even almost looks like a spaceship or something that's like got lodged into the side here of this mushroom. So we have like this very kind of phallic, creative, in my opinion, goddess meeting that divine creative energy, the fires being stoked and all of that kind of stuff. But I also can't help but think this is like almost a calling into the micro, right? I like to think of like when we start like communing with the fae, or noticing the backyard spirits, it's kind of like they've been calling to us, and all of a sudden we're like, oh yeah, the little critters that live in the leaves, and the things that are in the trees, and all the little, today I was looking at lichen, which is beautiful in all of its many forms, but they're just, sometimes you're called into these little places, right? And to me, that's really what the fae is about. It's about like being pulled into what we usually ignore, especially when we're outside, right? So I feel you being drawn in to the absurd a little bit, the magical, the maybe even kind of, high strangeness. I think that there's a little bit of beauty in a collective freak out, because I think it really loosens the grip of, materialism. And I don't mean like somebody who just is out for money and that. I just mean that we put so much into what we consider the physical and waking world, right? But, when there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of escapism. And when there's escapism, there are people who are thinking deeply. There are people who are going into themselves. Hopefully not everybody is, losing time, dooming or anything like that. And we're all doing it. We're all doing it. But, I think that against the pressure of whatever it is that's happening, there are a lot of people that are not just waking up. They've been woken up, but they are in action, right? They're living their magical lives. Because at this point, it's kind of like, bro, like, what are we going to do? What else are we going to do? You know what I mean? Like, how else am I going to live besides like living a magical life? Besides creating every day. And I know that's not for everybody, but whatever your driver is, whatever your ultimate way of living is, right now is the time to just do it. Go for it. Because like, I don't know what else there is. Everything that was, not everything, but a lot, I'm generalizing. A lot of old things are just fully losing their meaning. I mean, just fully we are checking out of like, why were we doing this for so long? What does this mean? Why do we think of things, some archaic way? And of course I am absolutely, a devotee to some degree of some parts of traditionalism. I'm trying to I'm not a traditionalist. I do call upon traditional methods and techniques and, of course, languages and modalities and things, but I wouldn't necessarily, definitely not a reconstructionalist. But I don't even know where I was going. I was like, how am I going to get myself? Am I a traditional? I don't know. I admire some traditional thing. I don't know. Anyways, but we've really, I think we're losing, confidence. Maybe it's confidence. I don't know. And whatever it was. right? And now is the time to create. You know, like bring back, or not even bring back, don't bring back anything. Let's do something else. Like I've been reading surrealist poetry and stuff from, I don't know, you know, between like the 20s and early, you know, 50s or so. We really need like a good kind of Dada adjacent movement or something. I know that's very niche or whatever, but I think the absurd is the only thing that's going to get most of us through all of this, if we get, you know, God willing. But yeah, just do the thing, dude. Do the thing. I mean, why not at this point? Just do it. Live that magical life. Be a weirdo. Talk to yourself. I talk to myself so much that my family members, my daughter and my husband, sometimes think I'm on the phone because, you know, I take a lot of notes on my phone for whatever I've been like researching or whatever magical things I'm working on. I have a lot of pointless ideas as well. But I have just adopted this, like, I fully talk to myself like I'm talking to somebody else. You know what I mean? I don't even care anymore. And also, you know what? It's cured a lot of loneliness. I don't know why I would be lonely. You know, I have a lot of wonderful people in my life, but, you know, I'm a traumatized person. What can I say? I'm going to be forever lonely. There's always going to be that, like, that melancholy aspect there, you know? That's maybe a little bit of the charm of me. I don't know. But anyways, just live it, dude. Just live it, do it. Sometimes I'm out here doing stuff I don't even know what I'm doing. You know, I'm just collecting, like, you know, different stuff from outside. I'm tying it together. I'm, you know, using it in different spell work and stuff. And I don't always know the attributes of things. But you know what I do know? I trust myself. And I trust the land that I live on. I trust that, you know, the beautiful patrons of my life will guide me in the ways that they need to. And also, you know, my higher thinking, my daemon, my guardian, all that stuff. And just be living silly out here, like we're making mud pies and all that. You know what I mean? That's what's going to heal our souls, I think. Hopefully. I'm trying it out. I'm just fully engaged. And it's been, you know, it's been hard because when you're living like, you know, an in-between life, between waking life and the whatever else, there are, I mean, endless books, right, that'll tell you how to do it or whatever, but there's really no rules. I mean, there are just no rules. It is a theater to build within, to experience, the ultimate laboratory. So, you know, I think that if we can just start getting to that point, and it's just not even about, like, who cares what people think. I mean, listen, if you still are caring what people think about you while the world is ending, babe, like, I give you full permission to just go absolutely feral. Who cares? Dude, who cares? Who cares? The more I'm reading about things, I'm realizing even like the way that I process data is so different than most people. I mean, I knew that, but like when I'm getting to the nitty gritty of things and understanding why I can't, you know, there are very few people I've ever gotten anywhere deep with. And it's just because I am existing in a completely different world than most other people. Not that I'm special, because guess what? So is everybody else. Everybody else is in their own little universe. And I just, at this point, I can't take things personally anymore. It's like we're walking around talking to ourselves and at other people. Most of us. You know what I mean? And coming to this realization, it's who cares anymore? I mean, I care for people. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you have like all of the, self-freedom in the universe. But like, if somebody has some like harsh or just crummy something to say, bro, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo. Get out of here. You know what I mean? We're trying to get it together so we can maybe survive the thing and then maybe be able to build a little something for ourselves. If you are out here talking about people, being mean, going out of your way to like be rude to people, or even just like feel like internalize other people's ickiness, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? No. Literally like sinning against yourself. I don't necessarily believe in sin, but how would that be? You're wasting your vital energies on nothing. I'm talking to myself, you guys. Nothing. On nothing. So anyways, let's go ahead. We have the letter K. Twice, actually. Repeated K. We have the hook. We have the old hook. What is the movie? Jeepers Creepers. I never in my life was into that stuff. Those kinds of, like, I like horror movies. That like era that I grew up in. And a lot of these movies, I was in high school when they came out, and I was so pretentious already in high school, that I just didn't watch them until I was older. I was annoying. I'm still annoying. What am I saying? That's okay. I don't mind being annoying. Actually, annoying has been... Here's the deal. I was telling my daughter this the other day, because she likes to ramble like I do. Annoying is like the best filter of people and things and situations. Being an annoying person, you save yourself from so many people that suck. They just suck. They suck. So it feels sometimes like something to be ashamed of or whatever. I got to change some part of myself. I got to make myself whatever. I'm going to, repress myself in some way. Nah, dude. No, it's a great like filter net. What are those little bug light lamp things? The scary, sad ones where they go, zzz, zzz, zzz. Yeah, bro. That's what it is. Keep that. In fact, be more annoying. I mean, be like so annoying that you can't stand yourself. And then come back and we'll be best friends. All right, here we go. So we have fish swimming in a circle. Right? Swimming into the hand. A whole cycle. Now, we also have the snail. We have the number 27 up here, okay? And 33 up here. So, money coming your way. Money coming into hand, okay? That's absolutely the vibe I'm getting. We have not just like a new stream of money, but there's money that is creating money, okay? You are hopefully, I mean, if it is a privilege to have anything beyond what you need in that very moment, right? But I think that you are at a place where maybe you're able to, I don't know, put a little savings, maybe, you're investing in resources, to facilitate a future for yourself, hopefully, or something like this. But I think it's something where you're able to also make something with it, right? So maybe you're getting money and you're putting it into your business. You're getting money, you're putting it into your hustle. You're getting money, you're investing it, and it's making money for you. Whatever it is. So I feel like this is going to be where maybe you've been worried about, like, is this going to be a year of growth or not? Yes, I absolutely think it will be, especially starting here, when you get into the second quarter. Is it already the second? I think it already is. So it will go up from here. 51 as our first lucky number. 68. And number 4. Number 4. Okay. I just want to pull one card for you. I'm not going to go into... It's going to be your power card. Power card for the week. Ooh, good. There you go. It's starting. That money is coming. It's coming. You are absolutely getting that thing flowing into a nice, beautiful cycle for yourself there. All right. I love you. I love you. Please take care of yourselves. I don't even know. It's been, you all know. I love you. We'll talk soon. Bye.